Hey warriors, welcome to Empowerment and Illness. I am your host, Gwen. We're going to talk about something that hits hard for so many of us living with chronic illness. Setbacks. Not the dramatic kind people can see from the outside, but the kind that knocks your routine off track, steals your confidence, and makes you wonder if you're back at square one. A flare, a new symptom, a bad appointment, a week where your body just won't cooperate. And suddenly, the progress you fought for feels like it disappeared overnight. When we hear the word setback, we tend to treat it like a verdict, like it means we failed, we weren't consistent enough, we weren't strong enough, we didn't do enough. And that mindset can be more damaging than the setback itself. Because it turns out, one hard stretch into a full-on identity crisis. We start rushing, we start overcorrecting. We start trying to make up for lost time and a body that's already asking for care. That's how people burn out and how setbacks get longer. We're going to talk about how we can deal with setbacks without losing momentum. Momentum doesn't mean constant output. Momentum means we can stay connected to ourselves. We keep a thread of routine, clarity, and self-trust even when our capacity changes. We learn how to pivot without spiraling, how to rest without quitting, how to come back without pushing ourselves for needing time. And we're going to keep it real today. Setbacks bring grief. They bring frustration. They bring fear that things will never stabilize. They also bring that quiet embarrassment of telling people, I thought I was doing better, and feeling like you jinxed yourself. If any of this is familiar, you're not alone. This conversation is here to help us stay steady through the dip, so the dip doesn't become the whole story. Let's get into it. When we hit a setback, our brains love to tell us we're starting over. That's usually the first thought. Great, I'm back at the beginning. But a setback is not the same as losing everything you built. It's a disruption, not a deletion. You still have the knowledge you gained. You still have the boundaries you practice. You still have the patterns you've learned to recognize. You still have the proof that you can get back up, even if today you're tired of being the one who always has to get back up. Setbacks feel heavier in chronic illness because they can mess with your trust. You start questioning your body. You start questioning your progress. You start questioning your ability to plan. And planning matters to us because planning is how we feel safe. When symptoms change, the future feels shaky, and it's normal to want to grab control fast. But rushing yourself back to normal is usually the exact thing that keeps you stuck. It turns healing into punishment. So we're going to reframe the word momentum. Momentum isn't about doing more. Momentum is about staying oriented. It's about maintaining a small thread of consistency so you don't disappear inside the setback. Even if that thread is tiny, even if it's one routine you keep, one check-in, one meal, one shower, one boundary, one sentence written down that says, this is where I am today. That's momentum in a chronic illness body. And this is where we stop comparing ourselves to people who don't have these cycles. Our bodies don't move in straight lines. We move in seasons. We move in phases. We move in patterns. When a setback happens, it doesn't mean we're not growing. It means we're being asked to adjust. Momentum stays when you adjust with respect instead of panic. After a setback, a lot of us get this intense urge to make up for lost time. We try to jump back into everything at once. We overbook, we overclean, we overwork. We try to prove we're still stable. And in the moment, it can feel empowering, like we're taking our life back. But often it's just fear in a different outfit. Fear that if we slow down, we'll never start again. Fear that people will forget we're reliable. Fear that we'll get stuck. Here's the issue. Our bodies don't respond well to punishment disguised as motivation. When we force our way back, we don't rebuild momentum. We create another crash. And then we end up in the worst loop: setback, overcompensate, crash, shame, repeat. That loop doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're scared. and you're trying to survive in a world that rewards endurance over wisdom. So we're going to talk about returning with a plan that respects our capacity, not your old capacity, your current capacity. Your body doesn't care what you used to be able to do. Your body cares what you can sustain. That's the difference between momentum and a flare trigger. Momentum is sustainable. Overcompensation is expensive. This is also where guilt shows up. Guilt for resting, guilt for canceling, guilt for needing help, guilt for being inconsistent. But chronic illness consistency looks different. Our consistency is not about perfect streaks. It's about the ability to return without self-attack. It's about saying, I'm still here. I'm still committed to my life. I'm just adjusting how I carry it. When you're in a setback, you don't need a long list. You need a small plan you can follow, even when you're tired and overwhelmed. Here's a framework that keeps you connected without pushing you too hard. First, choose one anchor. An anchor is the smallest routine that reminds you you're still you. It could be taking meds with water. It could be sitting up and doing a 2-minute check-in. It could be stepping outside for air. It could be writing one line in your notes. Today is a low capacity day. The anchor matters because it prevents the all or nothing spiral. It keeps the day from becoming a blank space you feel ashamed of later. Second, name your capacity out loud. Not to be dramatic, to be honest. My capacity is 30% today. Or, I can do one thing and that's it. When you name it, you stop arguing with it. And once you stop arguing, you can plan inside reality instead of pushing past it. Third, pick your one priority. Not the 10 things you wish you could do. The one thing that protects your health or your stability the most. Sometimes the priority is rest. Sometimes it's food. Sometimes it's calling the doctor's office. Sometimes it's sending one email so you don't lose an opportunity. One priority turns the day from I did nothing into I did what mattered. Fourth, set a return ramp. This is how you come back without crashing again. The return ramp is a gentle step up, not a leap. If you're doing 5 things, come back with 2. If you're walking 30 minutes, come back with 10. If you were social every weekend, come back with 1 plan and a buffer day. Momentum stays when you respect the ramp. This is where it gets personal. Setbacks don't only affect our schedules, they affect our identity. They make us question whether we can trust our body, whether we can trust our progress, whether we can trust ourselves. And when that trust cracks, we start looking outward for proof that we're still okay. We look for reassurance. We look for permission. We look for someone to tell us we're not failing. But internal awareness is what protects you here. The setback doesn't mean you're doomed. It means something shifted. Your job is to notice what shifted without turning it into a character flaw. You're allowed to say, this is hard, without adding, and it's my fault. You're allowed to say, I'm disappointed, without adding, so I should push harder. You can hold the emotion without using it as fuel to punish your body. Setbacks can also expose what wasn't sustainable. That doesn't mean the progress wasn't real. It means you learned something. Maybe your pace was too high. Maybe your boundaries weren't strong enough yet. Maybe you were running on adrenaline. Maybe you were saying yes too often. A setback can be information, not just interruption. That's how we keep momentum. We learn, we adjust, we come back wiser, not harder. Setbacks bring grief. That part is real. Grief for the week you thought you'd have. Grief for the body you wish you had. Grief for the version of you that didn't have to rebuild so often. And if you don't make room for that grief, it tends to show up as anger, numbness, or quitting. Not because you don't care, but because you're tired of caring. So we make space without letting it take over. We give ourselves permission to feel the disappointment without turning it into a conclusion. We remind ourselves that we can be frustrated and still be committed. We can be tired and still be brave. We can be slowed down and still be moving forward. And here's the most important part. Coming back doesn't require punishment. You don't have to earn your return by suffering. You don't have to prove you're serious by pushing until you crash again. You get back by taking the next right step, then the next one, then the next one. That's momentum. That's consistency in a chronic illness life. Set aside some quiet time this week with your journal. These prompts are meant to help you notice your direction, not judge your pace. What does the word setback make you believe about yourself? When I'm trying to make up for lost time, what am I actually afraid of? What's one anchor I can keep on low capacity days? What did this setback teach me about what wasn't sustainable? What would a gentle return ramp look like for me this week? Our listener's action plan. Choose your anchor for setback days and write it down. Rate your capacity each morning for 1 week and plan inside that number. Create a return ramp, the next 3 steps you'll take when you're ready, small, on purpose. And now, a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Empowerment in Illness and our resource shop built for real life with chronic illness. If you're dealing with setbacks, it's easy to panic and start thinking you lost all your progress. You didn't. You just need tools that help you stay clear, stay organized, and come back steady instead of rushing yourself into another crash. Start with the Lupus Roadmap, a step-by-step guide designed to help you track what's happening in your body, recognize patterns, and walk into appointments with clarity instead of overwhelm. It's a steady pace to put the facts of your experience, especially when brain fog, fatigue, or stress makes everything feel scattered. If you need help finding the words when you're tired or frustrated, use My Voice Ally. It supports clear communication so you can advocate for yourself without over-explaining or forgetting what matters most. And when setbacks interrupt your plans, my Flarecasts help you plan around flare reality so you can protect your energy and still move forward in a way that's sustainable. To keep your information in one place, we also have the Paper Trail Medical Binder, made for labs, notes, medication lists, and appointment details, so you're not scrambling when you need answers quickly. And if you need space to process setbacks without stuffing your emotions down, explore our journals and planners, including The Quiet Power Within and Getting to Know My New Normal, created to support reflection, stability, and gentle follow-through. You can find all of these resources at empowermentandillness.com. That's empowermentandillness.com. Be prepared. Don't panic. And now, back to the show. Before we leave, I would like to close with the special portion of the show I call Healing Heartbeats. This is where we allow ourselves to wallow in sorrow. Give yourself 3 minutes to laugh, cry, scream, cuss, or just sit in silence. Whatever you need to do to feel it, do it. Let the depression in for only 3 minutes. Once you reach 3 minutes, compartmentalize it and get back to living. This is a rinse and repeat behavior. You cannot let depression take over, because when it does, it will not let go. When we hear about the passing of someone, they have the day they were born and the day they pass away. There's a dash in the middle. It's not a long line, but a short dash. That dash represents your life. Go live in spite of having a chronic illness. Don't let your condition stop you. Setbacks can make us feel like everything we built disappeared. But that's not the truth. We don't lose the growth we earn just because our body needs a different pace for a while. A setback is not the end of the story. It's a reroute, and reroutes still move you forward. If you've been carrying guilt for needing rest or feeling embarrassed that you're not where you thought you'd be, I want you to set that down. Your body is not a machine. Your life is not a straight line. You're allowed to adjust without turning it into failure. Momentum doesn't require perfection. Momentum is staying connected to yourself, even when capacity changes. It's one anchor, one honest check-in, one priority, and a gentle return ramp. That is how we keep going without breaking ourselves to prove we can. We're not behind, we're adapting, and that takes wisdom. Remember, you have the strength, the heart, and the support to continue your journey. Be safe.